bouncing back starting from tomorrow. And the breaking story coming from, in fact, the soccer story coming from the continent of South America is Brazil losing back-to-back games in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. All in all, I'm not alone. What you do is stay next to a screen as we bring for you the content. Susie, you are most welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Benson. Good afternoon, viewer. Wherever you're catching us from, we won't be able to mention all the areas you're catching us from, but all we want to say is thank you so much for always following. We saw time at 2 to 3. Susie and Benson are already in the house to give you whatever it is that is happening within. There is the sporting fraternity. A lot of stories coming up. Some of the headlines Benson has given through, and the rest you only need to keep it glued to Westnile TV because we are here to light up the region for you.
Yeah, Susie, the interesting thing is our nation is full of qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, and very soon the Victoria Pearls. When we talk about Victoria Pearls, actually, we are talking about the ladies' team of cricket in the country. Very soon, they will also be kickstarting theirs. And before the real qualifiers, they will have engagement up against their neighbors, that's Kenya. And at the same time, their brothers, that's the cricket cranes. They have started the real business today. I'm talking about the cricket cranes. And why actually we are saying Uganda is full of World Cup qualifiers, also the biggest of it. Coming from the biggest sporting activity which people love so much. I'm talking about the football and also the European Champions qualifiers 2024. The business is already done, but all in all, we always follow hierarchy. We start with what is happening within the region of West Nile. We take a look at the national stories. If the continental stories are there, we don't leave them out. We always bring for you before, and as usual, we finalize everything with what is happening in the other parts of the world. But the biggest of it is within the second tier of Ugandan football. We are talking about the big league. It's bouncing back today after the international break coming to an end yesterday for our country. This time, FUFA Big League is bouncing back with the top of the table class between the two clubs. I'm talking about Blacks Power taking on the country, the North Country rather, taking on the club, that's Police, the Cops. Remember, the two sides actually, they are maintaining the log. Right now, on top of the log is the Police with 19 points. Meanwhile, it's only the point difference of 2, which is separating the two sides. That means Blacks Power is having 17 points. They are classing today, top of the table class between the two sides. What are we expecting? What are we expecting in the game, Susie?
It's going to be a very tense game, I should say. Blacks Power this time around has also not come into the league to joke. If you look at Blacks Power, they are winning in, by the way, most of their games, only that at the other time they lost out they lost out. They've lost, I think, 1 or 2 of their games. And with that aside, Blacks Power and Police seem to be the most serious. I'm not saying the rest of the clubs within there is a Bed Power Big League are serious. But if you look at these two guys, these two clubs, I would definitely say they are in for an automatic promotion. Because if you look at a Bet Power Big League, at the end of the day, the first team gets an automatic promotion into there is the biggest style of football in Uganda. There is a Star Times Uganda Premier League. But then somehow this is yet the first round. So we're not going to say maybe this team is this and the other team is this and all that. But all in all, Benson, this is going to be a very tense game. I am not seeing any team grabbing all the 3 points very easily. It's not going to be an easy one. I am actually anticipating a draw in this very tight clash that is coming ahead.
So it's actually for the two teams, in case Police will end up with the Victoria side against the team of Blacks Power, it's going to extend the points gap between themselves and Blacks Power. And in case Blacks Power maybe beats the team of Police, that means they are going to surpass that Police and they will go on top, because currently it's only the points gap of 2 which is separating the two sides. Not only that game, another game which is also kickstarting at 4 p.m. East African time is actually the game between Mbale Heroes and the team of Ndeje University. You take a look at Mbale Heroes. Previously, the recent game they played in the league, they were actually humbled by Police by 4 goals to nothing, and also at the same time Ndeje winning their game rather. This time it's Mbale Heroes the home side, welcoming the side in Ndeje University. Is it going to be the time for Mbale Heroes to bounce back from that humiliation, this time put something against Ndeje? And also we should not rule completely Ndeje out of the game, because though at the start of the season they were not performing very well, but of late the last 2 to 3 games they have played, they have shown to the Ugandans that they have not come to the league to joke. Actually they are the real competitors, not this time to fight a relegation. Huge game between the two sides. Ndeje University up against Mbale Heroes.
Ndeje up against Mbale Heroes. I am seeing Mbale this time around finishing all the anger that police beat them recently 4 goals to 0 at their home. Like I had said the other time after we were doing an after-match analysis, I said I didn't expect, by the way, Mbale to lose out 4 goals to 0 in the hands of police. And remember that day Mbale was home. So basically, whatever it is that happened to Mbale, I had earlier said that I really want to look deep into whatever it is that happened to Mbale that time around. And I think Mbale actually just Mbale Heroes suffered because of some slight mistake, and this mistake I think they have gone down to correct it. And the team that Mbale is playing next should be a little bit careful because we might see them returning all the 4 goals they swallowed from police into this other team that they are facing. And which team is it? It happens to be Ndeje. And Ndeje that started the season on a bad notice until somehow they got a new gaffer. And after that, they have been winning all their games, by the way, starting with the clash they had with Calvary back at home, where the pitch visions of Arena was very waterlogged and all that. That is where Ndeje beat Calvary. And after that, that was their turning point. I think that is when the season started for them. Since that time, we have been seeing, by the way, Ndeje winning all their games. So this time around, I am still looking at, okay, Ndeje, I don't know if they have come back big and rejuvenated. If I should say, the whistle has gone for them to be winning games. But for them to pick a win up against Mbale Heroes, it's going to be a little bit hard.
It's true. Now if we may take a look at the picture of the top of the table, on top is, like I said, the Police with 19 points. Second on the log is Blacks Power with 17 points. That means the points gap is only 2. Third on the log is Lugazi after playing a draw with the team of Chetume. They having 15 points to them to their names. And the team that completes the top 4 is the team in the names of Chetume with 14 points. So are we going to see change in the table standing in case the fixtures will alternate in favor of the other teams?
Basically, there's going to be a change in fixture. Even if there is, even if most of the teams that are going in today and tomorrow, even if most of the teams are picking a draw or defeats, basically, we expect the table to change at the end of every match day, and they are always updated. So basically, the tables won't change a lot today because we only have one game today. There is Police and Blacks Power, and then maybe we'll expect a lot of table changes from Friday because Friday there are a lot of fixtures. Calvary will play Mbale Heroes, Lugazi will play Onduparaka, Karokarunji will play Kataka, Chiinda Boys will play Ndeje, Buma will play Chetume, and then Ginger North will play Chigezi Homeboys. I think basically today we're not going to have a lot of change of table apart from Police shifting in positions with Blacks Power after the end of the game. Most of the changes, Benson, I am seeing it coming after the 90 minutes on Friday.
I think change may only come in the top 4 sitting in case Mbale Heroes maybe beats Ndeje University. Currently they are having 13 points to their names. That means they are going to also overtake Chetume, that is having 14 points. And you have already given the other fixtures to be played on Thursday, Friday, up to the end of the week, which I don't want to repeat. This time let's take our trip to what is happening in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. No big stories, all about the bounce back of match day 8. And we need to take a look at some of the games. Remember, these games actually they are starting from tomorrow. Gaddafi is the home side up against the Bright Stars. Then we will be seeing a game also tomorrow between Vipers and URA. They will be sitting at St. Mary's Sitende. Meanwhile, on Friday, Arohil actually will be at Paridi as the TAS will eat out with the UPDF. And Busoga on the same day, they will be playing Kampala City or KCCA. And Express, of course, they will have to maintain their own ground as they take on Maroons. A tough game. I think it's a Kampala derby. Mbara City, meanwhile, they will have to be at Kateka as they take on Sports Club Villa. And NEC FC will take on the team of Wakiso Giants. And there will be a game between Bull and the team of Airtel Chitara. Bull, they're on top of the log, followed by Airtel Chitara. And also, just as it has happened between Blacks Power and the team of Police in the FUFA Big League, this time top of the table class also between Bull and Airtel Chitara. I think you can give highlights about this particular fixture. Matthias, it will be over the weekend.
Chitara and Bull, I think I will basically be doing some brief analysis today, tomorrow, and maybe an in-depth analysis will come through on Friday. If you look at these two teams, the Bull and Chitara, Bull this time around, somehow they were unbeaten. They took an unbeaten record from the time the season started up to somehow when UPDF actually UPDF broke in the unbeaten run. The same UPDF that Rahil is playing on Friday at Paridi. UPDF equally had looked down on them, by the way. But then after beating, there is a Bull, and Bull was home. It was very surprising and shocking. We all didn't expect that. I'm quite sure that result shocked in a lot of Ugandans, a lot of fans that follow UPL down there. But then this time around, Chitara actually coming up to play. There is a Bull Football Club. This is going to be a very tight fixture, Benson. This is going to be a very tight fixture. Chitara is equally a good side. If you look at the table standings, they're not doing badly off. Bull equally is a very good side. So this is going to be a very tense fixture, and it's going to be a very tight one. I think I will do another in-depth analysis tomorrow after looking into the squad and maybe the injury list coming in from both camps. But for now, I am seeing and anticipating a very tight fixture and a very tense one ahead of the game on Friday.
It's true, Bull up against Chitara. In case it will end in a draw, that means the top of the table will still stand as it is right now. And the team, Bull, in case they win over Chitara, they will still be extending the points gap. And Airtel Chitara, in case they also win over Bull, they will also be going on top of the log. Briefly, I think we need to highlight people with how the table is right now, because I know most of the people's mind, they have been actually with the full of Uganda's games. On top is, of course, Bull still. Second is Airtel Chitara. Third on the log is NEC. Vipers, of course, is having 4 points, is at number 4 with 14 points. Express at number 5. Meanwhile, down in the relegation zone at number 14th is Wakiso Giants. KCS still in the relegation zone. Matthias, the one against the Vipers. And the last team on the log is actually Arue Hill Sports Club with only a point. And one key fixture to be played tomorrow is actually the game between Vipers and the team of URA. And also just a reminder to the fans of URA and to the fans of soccer fans at large, URA has got a gaffer, a new coach, and the name of the coach is Obua. The first game he played managed for the team was actually a draw. This time they are heading away to St. Mary's, intended to take on Vipers. Are we going to see him continuing with his brilliant start, that's Obua, for you at URA?
Yeah, Vipers URA 7 p.m. tomorrow at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende. Vipers has not lost a game at Chitende, and basically if the game comes at 7 p.m. under the floodlights, trust me, it's actually a basic advantage to there is a Vipers, because one, they are used to the floodlights and all that. URA, I wouldn't say that they're not used to the floodlights or playing on artificial turf and all that. These are all the capital city based clubs, so I wouldn't really underlook at the other. And with the new coach there has coming to camp, there is the legendary Uganda Cranes players. Way back in the days, he made a name to he made a start to his name and all that. There is a David Obua. No doubt he's very good. And if you look at actually the first game he undertook with the URA, like your Dalian said, it was a draw. And basically, if you look at URA and the journey into there is a UPL as it started, you'll basically get to understand that it wasn't a very good one for them, and not until they brought in the services over there is a David Obua. True. And I was actually anticipating a very fast win for there is URA under David Obua, but then a draw isn't a bad one, getting a point. And this time around, I am looking at equally a draw with the Vipers, because it always had to beat Vipers home, and especially at night. So I am anticipating tomorrow 7 p.m. after the 90 minutes, URA would have shared points with there is a team Vipers. And then by the way, we also have a Gaddafi playing a Saltillo Bright Stars tomorrow 4 p.m.
Yeah, Susie Gaddafi and the Bright Stars, I think this is a 50-50 game because you take a look at the weight of these two teams. They have actually not been performing very well. Much as the last two games Gaddafi played, they have been doing it quite well in them. But still coming against the Bright Stars, I think they will have to sweat hard to get the 3 points. The way I am seeing a draw may also be possible in this game. And also I have to agree with you giving a draw between the game of Vipers and URA. Why am I saying so? Because you look at some of the players of Vipers, they have been engaging in national duty with the squad of Uganda Cranes, and the game actually was played yesterday, and these players for Vipers, they are coming back today, and you having a game tomorrow. Obviously, some of them, big snakes and big match guys, will be missing in that game. So there is a chance for URA, of course, to pick something against the team of Vipers. And yesterday was an exciting moment for the fans, or for the soccer fans in the country, as Uganda, of course, had a slim win over the country of Somalia, not in AFCON qualifiers, not in Sekafa, but it was in the biggest tournament we have in the world, 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And the World Cup qualifiers will again return till next year and June. Uganda, first game they played was a slim defeat into the hands of Guinea, and yesterday they had to console themselves and the fans of Uganda with a win over Somalia. And not only that game that was played yesterday, and also Kenya had a shocking result over South Africa, and as I talk right now, they are the ones maintaining dialogue. And I've been asking myself over the night, is it going to be the right time for the region of East Africa to send one representative not in African Cup of Nations, in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers? But at the end I said no, because the journey is still very long. But Uganda yesterday picking a narrow win over Somalia. Is it a turning point for Uganda Cranes?
I think Uganda coming in with a very early goal, and that goal came in through from Rogers Mato. I think it's quite a very good one, because literally people had in high hopes in Paul Put. There is the most recent coach that Team Uganda appointed as the head coach, who appointed as Team Uganda's head coach. The first game we went in there, you would literally see that Uganda was trailing. Guinea scored in the first goal, and then Fahad Bayo, Westnile, came through and scored an equalizer. And then I thought, by the way, that game was going to end on a draw basis, but then somehow within the late hours minutes, within the late hours minutes over, there is the game. We literally saw the opponent coming in to score, and then the game ended on a 2-1 basis. It was a bad one for Team Uganda, but not very bad, because literally we were able to score, and this is a very continental and huge league, by the way. And maybe basically I would say we are seeing in the efforts of Paul Put. Because literally, when he was newly appointed, we saw in a lot of stories coming through, a lot of negative stories coming through about him here and there, and a lot of Ugandans, a lot of people had lost hope and trust in him. But 2-1 wasn't a bad one for the start under a new coach. And this time around, picking a win in the second, I think guy is doing quite well in the office.
Yeah, in the game, Somalia actually had a red card towards the closing edges of first half. So we said that it was actually the red card Somalia got that earned Uganda the win?
If you look at the goal and the minute it came through, if you say the red card came towards the end of first half, the goal came in the 4th minute of first half. So basically, I think the red card didn't even add anything to the win of Uganda, because the goal came in before, and then maybe it could equally help, because now somehow we're going to maybe expect an equalizer for there is a team Somalia in some other minute of the game. Maybe they got demoralized and stopped chasing after the equalizer after one of their players was sent off. Possibly the red card could have added in something.
That's actually why I brought that question on the table, because you scored in the 4th minute and it ended like that. And I asked myself, if it was not because of the red card, maybe Somalia was going to fight hard to see that they actually picked a draw. And yesterday when we were here together with Owen Ezaga, actually we talked lengthy, we discussed the length about the game, and he gave the statistics head-to-head record Uganda, of course, has been having with Somalia, and the 99% of the record is favoring the country of Uganda, but still it continues to go very well on the side of Uganda. And equally, like I said, we also had shocking results, Ghana being beaten, Cameroon dropping points, and also Nigeria not performing very well. But before I answer you into some of the few big games that we have played yesterday, I need to give the entire results to the followers. Somalia, like we have just been discussing, we are edged by Uganda by 1-0. Susie said Rogers Mato actually was behind the goal and was the hero, and Botswana edged Guinea by 1-0. There was a game between Malawi and Tunisia, the same scoreline, Tunisia edging Malawi by 1-0. Meanwhile, Cape Verde had to beat Eswatini at home by 2-0. South Sudan played out a barren draw with the country of Mauritania. Senegal, as well as a shocking result, playing a barren or as a goalless draw with the country of Togo, and the same scoreline without a goal between Angola and Mauritius. Libya had to share the spoil with Cameroon 1-1, and Namibia actually were 2-0 winners over Sao Tome and Principe, and Comoros edging Ghana by 1-0, and lastly Morocco were 2-0 winners over Tanzania. So is one of the shocking results, Ghana losing into the hands of Comoros by 1-0. Cameroon dropping points against Libya, and Senegal playing a barren draw with the country of Togo. Did you expect such kind of shocking results? And yet at the beginning they performed very well.
Okay, we cannot basically always judge teams based on the games that they take at the start. But then if you look at Team Comoros, by the Comoros is underrated. They are underlooked, but those people have the strength to beat any team, by the way.
True.
That is why as they picked that win, I wasn't really surprised. I remember I watched that game and a lot of people were complaining and shocked, just like you've asked me. People didn't expect Comoros, by the way, to come up winning in that very game. But I kept telling most of the people that I was watching with that Comoros is underrated, by the way. I don't know why. In most cases, the teams that actually they go in to play with are looked at as underdogs, but they always come in and surprise people. So it's high time, I think, people started looking at Comoros as a normal club that actually can beat any other team.
Yeah, for Morocco, they still continue with their brilliant start, edging our neighbors Tanzania Taifa Stars by 2-0. Let's move away from that. When I started following sports, Uganda just used to participate in continental and in regional tournaments. Regional tournaments, I am talking about CECAFA, and they used to only participate and compete in the continental football, that's African Cup of Nations, that is in football, and also in the other sporting displays. But of late, the last few years, Uganda, of course, they are taking steps forward to see that they also participate. Sometimes they compete in international sports. This is actually, I'm talking about the qualifiers, the international qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, that's taking place from the Department of Football. Cricket is also taking place. Recently, they were also part of Netball World Cup in South Africa, and also in athletics, they are doing so well. But we are discussing about cricket cranes, and these guys actually they have been gathering. They have been in Zimbabwe for 10 days tournament, and the real business is actually starting today. And Uganda, they are having a game up against Tanzania, and they remember there are 6 countries to battle for the World Cup qualifiers next year. Namibia is one of them, Zimbabwe is one of them. Our neighbors Tanzania, Uganda is starting the season with them today, and also at the same time Rwanda is also in the list, and Uganda, they are kickstarting it today against Tanzania. And the head-to-head between the two sides, Uganda, of course, they have been having a 99 good record against Tanzania. And is it going to be the right time to see that Uganda this time making it, or is the not crested cranes, rather cricket cranes, making it to the 2024 Cricket World Cup, or is T20 World Cup?
I think this time around Uganda, like you had said, there are a lot of World Cup qualifiers when going within the country, almost in every other sector. Even in rugby, by the way, there is the Uganda Cup going on, and the qualifiers. So if you look at cricket, I think this time around Uganda has given in time for cricket. They've invested in cricket here and there. Literally, we started seeing a team Uganda winning from the lower leagues within cricket. We saw a few of our representatives going in at school level, and they won. I remember we equally discussed discussed that here. And then recently, we also had another national event within cricket where we represented and won. So this time around, for me, anything cricket, I have full hopes that we're going in there to win, based on actually the statistics that you have given us. I think Team Uganda is at a better stand, and the odds are favoring Team Uganda on paper. There is, to me, compared to Team Tanzania.
I think, to me, the only tough opponent in that group is Namibia, because in the whole continent of Africa, they are ranked #1 in cricket against Tanzania in the regional tournament that was hosted by Rwanda. They faced themselves 6 times, and Uganda winning 5 of them. And also the pre-tournament they had in Zimbabwe, they had 6 encounters, and Uganda winning 5 of them and only losing 1. That is the statistics I can give you ahead of the encounter. With that, we have come to the end of the first stanza of the show. It has been me, Benson Pastore, together with Suzy Linda, and we have not yet